Hello guys and welcome to the ProDota Cup series by Smashcast TV. We have a match here between Nasty Potatoes and Happy Feet, a best of 3 that will decide who gets to go to the losers qualifiers, losers brackets final, and who gets to be out of the tournament. Right, so Nasty Potatoes versus Happy Feet, the first match already goes to the guys at Nasty Potatoes by beating Happy Feet eventually. Yeah, that's true, because they picked the Razor and it didn't work out for them. So Nasty Potatoes worked pretty well, especially their Kunkka and Jakiro was an insanely good combo. Great pick of Earthshaker as well. They're repeating a lot of picks and we'll talk about it in a second. That said, if Nasty Potatoes win the second match, they will be forcing Happy Feet out of the tournament and win this best of 3 2-0. Apologies for the technical difficulty as per usual. Usually we don't get to miss that much of a draft, but sometimes though it just takes a bit longer to restart if that happens. And if you do miss any of the matches, feel free to check out my Twitter, where there's a YouTube channel link there. That's where all the recordings and replays are for, well, any of the matches of this tournament, really. And if you're wondering how Nasty Potatoes got to this point, you can actually watch the whole group stage in that YouTube channel. That's it, guys. Let's get right into the draft, shall we? My name is DSwordfish, and I'll be your caster for today. Nasty Potatoes pick up the Crystal Maiden, Kunkka, Juggernaut, Earthshaker, even stronger than the Jakiro Kunkka, though, well, we'll talk about it in a second. Happy Feet pick up the Nyx Assassin, Tusk, and Warlock. So Nyx Assassin and Tusk, this is Nyx Assassin and Warlock, not the best combo. This time they're running a Tusk instead of an Ogre Magi. A bit more effective if you want to be a bit more offensive in the early game. Does not combine that well with Warlock, but it goes really well with the Nyx Assassin, of course, because the Snowball plus the Impale is easy. The Warlock gives you a lot of healing, which Nyx can't really utilize, but his high base HP region can be benefited by the Shadow Ward, and of course high armor and decent attack damage makes it so that Nyx is a formidable candidate in lane. I do believe it's 4 HP or so early on, which is ridiculous. 4 HP per second, plus obviously the Shadow Ward from the Warlock. So Happy Feet, pretty strong in that regard. They do have a decent lane in the offlane, especially if they combine Nyx Assassin with the Tusk. They can really run an offensive try and run a carry that's a bit safer. And of course they run the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, because the Shadow Fiend is one of the lowest maintenance mids out there. Yeah, sure, he's easily gankable. Yeah, sure, he doesn't usually dominate the mid lane, especially if he's up against a TA or some bullshit like that. But of course, if the Shadow Fiend doesn't get ganked too much, and doesn't lose the lane by too much, he can easily recover in the jungle, especially with the flash farming. That's you're not able to do. The Warlock can help the Shadow Fiend by a lot, because healing is all he really needs to survive most of the engagements. His HP regen is pretty nice. HP in general is pretty nice. His armor is pretty okay as well. And of course, he offers a great amount of burst damage. And Shadow Fiend is versatile and is able to play in most every position in the game, in the sense that he can play in most every kind of lineup. Early game, mid game, late game, depends on what kind of items you want to buy. Of course, the ban of the TA. What Happy Feet should pick up now, the Vengeful Spirit would have been a good idea, of course, because you would have stopped the Juggernaut, but the Mercy Black actually seems like a really good pick as well. The Razor, maybe. The Nasty Potatoes have a really strong lineup here. The Kunkka and the Crystal Maiden are going to get easy kills in the early game, especially against the Shadow Fiend, so you want the carry that can't be killed easily. Some sort of domination in the lane. Honestly, though, it seems like a crazy idea. A Void might not be the worst option for Happy Feet. Strong against the Juggernaut in general. No, Phantom Assassin. Okay, can't be killed. Follows that. Easy laning stage follows that. And can even be left alone to last him with Stifling Dagger. So, actually, I really like this Phantom Assassin. Not much magical damage on the enemy team. Or not much for now. The Earthshaker is pretty much the only concern you have. Maybe with a Blade Fury. And, of course, the Kunkka, obviously, with Ghost Ship. And the Easy X marks the spot. But the Kunkka Crystal Maiden is too powerful a combo. The Crystal Maiden Juggernaut's already an easy dual lane. Kunkka can roam around, use the Arcane Aura, and get kills. The only issue is the Crystal Maiden is a much weaker support, in the sense of her body is not as strong as Jakiro's. And I don't mean how she has nicer tits. I mean, like, she has a lower armor, she has a lower HP, and lower base attack damage, making it so that 1v1 battles are more reliant on spells rather than on the damage, meaning that early game 1v1 battles are much bit harder. Nasty Potatoes will pick up a Tinker as their last pick. Wow. That Tinker against Nyx Assassin, that's a very questionable pick. The Puck, again, in this situation, seems a bit better. Though Tinker does win the lane against Shadow Fiend slightly more than the Puck does. Not my big shot. The Tinker is much more powerful. Sorry, much weaker against the Nyx Assassin, whereas the Puck doesn't really care too much about Nyx. Usually you can evade the Impale, and if you don't, it's because he's wasted the Vendetta damage, in which case he can't kill you. Tinker has a great intelligence gain. His March of the Machines makes it so that he can be stunned super easily. He gets countered completely by an Assassin. You can't have the movement speed or the movability that you're so used to. And his damage he deals against Shadow Fiend and Phantom Assassin seems like a great deal, but Phantom Assassin now is already getting countered by the Earthshaker, because not only does Earthshaker deal a lot of magical damage, but his Enchant Totem, sorry, is like It has its True Strike, sorry. It's like an MKB, I was going to say. But it has True Strike, being able to hit the Phantom Assassin with just simply a plus 50 damage at level 15. That simple talent increases the damage of your enchantment totem by already 200. Phantom Assassin herself has a good agility game, but early on lacks armor, so the physical damage you can deal with Earthshaker to go against her blur is ridiculous. And of course, a low HP pool makes her really vulnerable to things like an Echo Slam, or an Echo Shift in general, even a Blade Fury and Omnislash. So honestly, this Tinker pick seems like a very risky pick, because the Tusk can kill him, and so can the Nyx Assassin. So we'll see. We'll see which one works better, honestly. That Phantom Assassin pick didn't seem like the best one in the beginning, because they just have a lot of magical damage against it. Though it's pretty good against Juggernaut, because it takes advantage of his low agility again, and therefore his low armor. They have a lot of magical damage to deal with the PA, and like I said, that Enchant Totem, which now gives True Strike, and is one of the best counter initiation tactics against the PA. If she doesn't, even if she goes for BKB, you can still hurt her. And Earthshaker usually can withstand 1 or 2 attacks. But like I said, even though PA is strong against Juggernaut, very weak against the rest of the team. But the Nyx Assassin really debalances things, because he can catch out a Tinker super easily and make his lane a living hell. In the top lane, we see a little bit of ice fights, with Ice Shard being used, but also Frostbite. Now the Blade Fury, the Tusk can't go anywhere because he used Ice Shards way too early. Playing offensively and punished for it. Nasty Potatoes will be getting that first blood, which is certainly going to help them, because this time they won't be losing anything with it. So first blood taken, and probably going to be taking the runes as well. That first blood came a bit too early for Happy Feet to really do anything that they did last time with Jao's tactic to steal the rune. That said, guys, before they continue to hit each other, let's present the teams real quick. My name is DSwordfish. I will be your caster for today. And today we are watching the second match of the best of 3 between Happy Feet and Nasty Potatoes. Nasty Potatoes come with a 1 victory from the last match, of course. And if they do win the second match, they will eliminate Happy Feet from the tournament and proceed to the Losers Brackets Finals to fight against GeekFam, so that they have a chance to get to the Grand Final to fight against MVP Revolution. Let's see what the teams are fashioning off today. Jesse Vash here with the Warlock in the support position. In the mid lane, a Shadow Fiend played by Ben-Hur. Jules will be the second support on the Tusk. In the carry position is Jao on the Phantom Assassin. And finally, in the off lane, it's a Nyx Assassin played by Yaj. As for Nasty Potatoes, we have Death Sama on the Earthshaker in the off lane position. Crimson will be playing the Crystal Maiden in the support position, joining him as the second support even on the Kunkka. In the mid lane, Ponlo is styling off his Tinker. And then finally, as the carry for this team, TMT will be running a Juggernaut in today's iteration. Right, so let's look at the lanes a bit, just because there seems to be a pretty desperate one. So Tusk is a powerful hero in terms of spells, not so powerful in terms of armor and HP and whatnot. He has a decent amount of HP, a bit the same as Kunkka actually, but that's with stats, right? Yeah, that's with a bit of stats. Should have a bit less than Kunkka. I believe it's 660 base HP, or 660 HP in level 1. Anyway, the point is, the Tusk here is, you know, pretty powerful help if you had any other mid laner that wasn't a Tinker. Tinker doesn't really have much trouble against a Tusk, honestly, because you aren't really afraid of him, because of course the laser is really powerful. That's why Kunkka decides to leave this lane, decides to go top lane, which is an easy kill onto Yash because of the fact that the Frostbite. Oh, beautiful Impale. No, sorry, yeah, actually that was an Impale. I keep thinking it's Earthspike for some reason. That was a beautifully made Impale. The idea is that if you Frostbite him and the Crystal Maiden takes a bit of damage on the Spike Carpets, no big deal. But if the opposite happens, and of course the Impale stops you, then that is a bigger deal. Mainly because they also have kill potential. Ooh, Ice Shard, don't catch up Ponlo. He eats a tree, very important. The torrent will not get used. Oh, it does. It has been used, sorry. Only for the Shadow Fiend. The Impale came from Yaj, ensures the skill onto the Tinker. That was an insanely good Impale. I don't know what's wrong with, or what's up with Yaj, but he's been on point with those Impales. Both of them really hard. I mean, one of them getting them fresh out of the torrent, or the Nyx Assassin, predicting the Tinker's movement exactly, and getting him with a last spike, which, by the way, has a slightly bigger AoE. He actually has a double AoE as the other spikes, but even though it's not that easy to do, and if you do hit him with that one, then it's easier to hit. You actually can increase your range ever so slightly, which is what the Nyx Assassin did there. If you hit the ground instead of hitting the hero, you hit like for example, if you hit the Shadow Fiend right here, for example, and he's standing right over here, then the Impale would hit him just barely, Missing. Okay, Torrent, not gonna hit Ben-Hur, but they do a lot of damage with the laser and the heat-seeking missile. I want people to kill him. There's the heat-seeking missile spam, they need to get the laser, range for laser, nope. And Jules comes in with an Ice Bath. So, oh, Konka finds the Courier. Seems like an easier kill. Decides that the Courier is too easy a kill. Not going to go for it. Great Torrent. Stops him in the tracks. He eats Sticky Missiles. Not going to grab him. Eden has to run away from this. Could have died there. If he had not gone for the Courier, maybe. But they were really smart using the Courier's superior turn speed against the Konkas to try to get him in the Shrine. Or to just to do the little, what's it called? The Rosie round? Rosie... Some ring around the Rosie. Ring around the Rosie around the Shrine, of course. Please stop with the claims of 3-2-2, guys. Punisher especially, man. I've seen you before. We check the validity of this tournament. Nobody's doing 3-2-2 unless... Well, if there was a 3-2-2, we assure you ProDota Cup made a statement about it. They get pretty serious about these things. The tournament's taking it pretty seriously. It's a tournament after all. It's not just 3-2-2 just because these teams aren't particularly tier 1. They're like the top tier 2 teams in Southeast Asia. So I'd be a bit careful about this. These kind of accusations. Right. Let's see. In this bottom lane, Jo is actually farming alone. I didn't realize this until now, but the Earthshaker just had to go completely into the jungle. And no levels of Echo Slam makes it a bit weird for me. I suppose he's using the Fissure just to use the pulling of the creeps. Actually, it's quite clever. You can use these jungle camps. You can just use the Fissure to pull the creeps. And that will explain what the difference here is between Phantom Assassin and Juggernaut. Because I have seen Juggernaut being harassed slightly by the Nyx Assassin. And more importantly, he left the lane a couple times to find last hits, which would explain now why or where the difference is coming from here. Oh, Konka. Konka is way too doggy. Easy kill. Nyx Assassin is leading the lane off and just to get the kills of the Konka. It is working out wonders for them. Like I said last game, the Konka is made to do a lot in the early game, but if he doesn't accomplish that, it's a bit harder for him. It's actually much harder for him because he doesn't really snowball and doesn't get the experience that you need, and you rely much more. The Earthquake? What? There's an Earthquake, or Happy Feet is staying? I do believe Happy Feet should be Filipino, so... Happy Feet, Dota 2. Pretty certain they're Filipino. Yeah, all of them are Filipino. I don't know exactly where they live. Don't know entirely where they live. I'm just curious if there's an earthquake right now in the Philippines. Earthquake around the world now, I suppose. I'm just curious because this has never happened before, but apparently there's an earthquake here. Latest earthquakes. There's apparently there was one near Indonesia. Maybe that could reach Philippines, but there was no Filipino ones recently. Apparently there was one just happened in California, but I don't think that's gonna help. No. Maybe it wasn't an earthquake. Lindell's incoming. Hopefully everyone comes back. That's an unfortunate thing. I'm assuming that it's just a... I actually don't know where they live. Earthquake, Philippine... No. It had 0 earthquakes in the past 24 hours. But you've had a lot. This week there was a 5.9 in the Philippines. That's ridiculous. When I come from a very safe country, Spain, and therefore it does not. The earthquakes just don't happen. So when I go to a country and search, oh, okay, there's an earthquake. Oh, one every week? That's ridiculous. Okay, Impale, catches Ponlo, easy kill, very fire, eats it, wants to deal a bit more damage, but the Kunkka won't help him survive there. It's only a simple torrent. Crimson does want to come and help. Maybe kill Jules. There's the Frostbite available, but of course, with Death Summer just walking there, they don't have enough time to actually get that kill. For now, it does seem like Happy Feet are getting a bit of an advantage here against Nasty Potatoes. Sure, the Juggernaut is slightly more farmed than the PA, but that difference is negligible. It's really only 300, whereas you're getting many more kills, especially against Ponlo in this mid lane, who is actually losing against the Shadow Fiend in terms of last hits just because of the constant kills the Shadow Fiend is getting. And more importantly, not only the last hits that he's losing at, but it's also the so very annoying. He missed that for sure. He should have used the laser. Also very annoying net worth itself, which is a 600 difference, much more considerable than the 200 difference between Juggernaut and PA. Especially a PA that comes online much sooner than Juggernaut does. Juggernaut needs Aquila still. He's already got his Facebook, which is not bad, but he's still, like I said, needs Aquila. That's bad madness last hit, especially with Facebook. Oh, Frostbite. It should be able to catch him anyway. How's the Frostbite? Blade Fury committed. Yash is not able to survive this. There's no way. Whoa! TMT not coming into this because, of course, that TP was coming in. Crimson is going to die, and J.O. comes at the right time, and Pale catches the Crystal Maiden, and easy kill onto the enemy team. So that was a really good choice to just leave. I mean, they could have just committed to the Blade Fury and at least gotten a kill for nothing, because I don't think the Juggernaut would have died to the PA, but hey, better than just risking it. Ban her, though. Xbox to spot. There's the Marks of the Machines. Torrent. Will hatch him. Whoa, that was a really weird Torrent. Allow him to get into the snowball. In fact, Palmer's going to die first, and there's your whole damage gone. And Nyx Assassin even comes from behind. Oh, sees Yash. They start bursting and burst and burst, and Yash will get the last hit. One last auto attack was all they needed. Whereas Crystal Maiden herself trying to kill the Phantom Assassin, get a revenge kill, but she evades that Crystal Nova entirely, and they can't catch her in time. That's 1 point in Blur for the year. Already 20% evasion, good enough to stop most of the Juggernaut's attacks in the early game. Well, not on most, let's be honest, that's the exaggeration. I suppose the whole point here is that Nasty Potatoes can recover in the mid game, because right now Happy Feet do have a really good control of the early game. The Tinker, like I said, it's just the Nyx Assassin pick. I'm just really afraid of what the Nyx Tinker can do with a Nyx Assassin around for you. It doesn't really seem like it's going to help you, or sorry, like the Tinker's been able to do anything. When the Nyx Assassin Spike Carpus, with his annoying impales that can catch you from all this on the map, he's definitely going to go for Axe this game because he's snowballing out of control. I mean, he's 300 away from the Tinker, which is 200 away actually from the Tinker, which is really good. Probably minus Nyx Assassin. Minus Blink Tagger than Ags. I think that seems like a proper idea. And of course that Mana Burn, which I think gains 2.2 intelligence per level. Not that big a deal, but the Mana Burn hurts you a lot because you barely have enough mana to begin with to cast your spell. So, you know, just one Mana Burn already takes away most of the mana you have. And all the clarity on Ben. It really does help him out. Jules might decide to go into Sama in the bottom lane. Or I think she's trying to do some sort of tower escape. Very offensive warding. Quite clever just to, because they know they can dive towers easily, so why not put a ward there? I wonder how much it covers. So he does see Jules right now. They know where he is. This could be an easy kill. Snowball plus a Stifling Dagger and then just a Phantom Strike. There's no Echo Slam yet on the Earthshaker, allowing you to be able to, or allowing you to attack him without much of a difficulty. There it is, Phantom Strike, the Ice Shards don't come in time, but the Snowball will catch you in it. There it is, extra damage, and Death will go down. No, one last Stifling Dagger, all they need. They grab it in time. The Xbox spot though, make sure that J.O. can't get too far away right now with a Torrent hitting him as well. Omni Slash to finish him off, and J.O. is going to be sliced to pieces. Jesse Vash, meanwhile, in the trees, has to TP away. Eden doesn't have Xbox spot or Torrent, so he's going to TP fine, and Jules himself has to evade some of the damage from Crimson. He has a TP, but the Frostbite's available. Jules just juked the shit out of Crimson using a creep. TMT knew exactly where he was, but the creep, of course, blocks Crimson from being able to see him and from being able to frostbite him away. So with that, it does seem like Nasty Potatoes will be getting another kill at the bottom lane. Now with a Torrent. To help TMT get some stacks. I don't know if those stacks were made for him. It seems like those stacks were made for the Shadow Fiend, if anything. I don't actually know who made those stacks for who they were made for, but I mean, TMT grabbing them is great because now he not only surpasses the PA by quite a lot, but is also starting to rival that Shadow Fiend. They've actually decided to move him to the bottom lane, at least for a while, so it seems. It's a bit weird, but TMT is going to relish here. I mean, he is good in aggressive trialers in general. They do have to run that, and he can farm pretty easily. The only thing they have to stop now is Shadow Fiend's farm. They've already forced him to go out of lane, which is not that bad. Palmer's able to get a decent timing for Trial Boots, what, around minute 11 or so? I mean, he only needs one more creep wave, and he's pretty much got them. So, one more creep wave that he actually does last hit every single creep, which is going to be a bit hard. But let's see if Palmer can do it. Well, that's one gone. That's two gone. That's at least one that he grabbed, two. Right, so every creep wave he gets 100, or not really, 39 plus 39, around 80, 84? 74, yeah. Oh well. TMT is going to be pushing down this lane. He's going to get more farm on himself. He's trying to get the Yasha and the Manta style. Whereas in the top lane, Happy Feet are starting to organize as a group, starting to take down the towers especially. That tier 1 in the top lane will easily go down to Ben-Hur and Jayo's damage. And of course, they even have the Blightstone in case they need that as well. To add a bit more damage to the tower pushing. Okay, Ice Shards just to push out TNT from the lane. Jules still wants to get a couple last hits, wants to get that Walrus Punch as well. Very useful to stop the TP from the Juggernaut. In the top lane, or Yaj alone actually kills Yaj, or with the help of Jayo, they kill the Tinker in the middle lane, but Jules is going to be the next target. That's in Snowball. That's not going to be too successful because, of course, it's only going to hit the Earthshaker. There's still a Fissure available, and goodbye to Mr. Tusk. They even rooted him in place. They didn't have the need for the Fissure, but why not? And with that, the Phoenix is completed with the Ice Shards and the Fissure, and now they're able to go for a tower down bottom. TMT quite happy with this because he's able to take a catapult for free and of course a tower. Yeah, they did lose the Tinker in that engagement, and yeah, they lost top tier 1 tower, but at this point, if you're Nasty Potatoes, you can't really do much but try to, well, survive this, of course, right? And try to get this to the late game, especially when you think about the trial boots. Now it's going to be much harder to push towers against the Tinker. Luckily, he didn't lose much time on the trial boots. He got Marvin at 11, which is still fine. Whereas TMT himself also has the Yasha, so he's going to be much more useful. The Shadow Fiend decided to go for Dragonlance first. I can only imagine it's going to be a BKB right afterwards. A good idea for him if he does decide to go for BKB. Otherwise, maybe 2 statsy a build and not anti-Tinkery enough because you are still afraid of the Tinker despite the fact that you do own a Nyx Assassin. Own, I say. What a terrible thing to say. Jayo, so Stifling Dagger, there's the Phantom Strike, they hit him, Vendetta, easy kill, Torrent, gonna come out right the last second, Happy Feet will not be taking any damage from that because, well, it's honestly a pretty early level Torrent, and because the Spike Carpet was on. So in the end, that's another kill onto the Konka, who's been nothing but cannon fodder this whole game. Somehow he's managed to reach that level 6 before the Crystal Maiden, probably because he was just having experience, but he's not done much. And now TMT, Blade Furying himself away from the damage the Shadow Fiend and the Tusk can put out. Omni Slash still available, has to use it in time, Echo Slam, used to keep the Shadow Fiend in place, but the Omni Slash, that last hit hits on Jules. That's not what they wanted to do. The boat is not going to impact anyone, but the Torrent will. The Xbox Spot will bring Shadow Fiend back. Now the Frostbite, they have to stop his Requiem of Souls. They will have the damage to do so. Death Sama with that last enchant totem, ensuring that they stop the Requiem of Souls in time and able to get the Shrine as well. That's a double kill. Pretty good recovery double kill for Nasty Potatoes. Still, of course, Happy Feet are winning, but it's a start to the recovery. Death Summer with the Enchant Totem getting a couple of stacks of creeps. He also has the Echo Slam if needed. Here in the bottom lane, Nasty Potatoes. Eden sees Yaj, a Vendetta Nyx Assassin. It's difficult. No, Frostbite. They see him with a sentry. Yaj, you went where you were not called for. And as a result, you were killed because nobody wanted you there. Nobody wanted you there, Yaj! And Walrus Punch hits TMT. Great use of the vote there. Because it stops Jules in his tracks. And of course, it also gives the Captain Coco's room to Juggernaut, who is able to run a bit faster and may even get an Omni Slash kill. It's time for Nasty Potatoes to go on the offensive. The Stifling Dagger build deals damage to them. Really, the Captain Coco's arm is so goddamn strong. It's really not something you have to underestimate. Usually those bullets have been very well placed to get Juggernaut or someone in the team the Captain Coco's arm, especially or the last game it was the carry, mainly the Luna, that got the Captain Coco's rum, and this game has been the Juggernaut. It's been pretty good posts as from Eden in general. TP from the Tinker, Pawn Nose ready, March of the Machines though, Eden wants to help out, X marks the spot plus Torrent. Yeah, and that could be an easy kill into the Shadow Fiend if they manage to do it with some sort of follow-up. They actually don't have any follow-up. For now, it's just TP missiles, constant spam. The Ags, I'm assuming, is going to come sooner than the Tinker, because he's already pretty much playing like he has an Ags. Oh, careful. Jayo being hit by the frostbite, also stunned out. He can't run away. There's the Echo Summon, doesn't get him in time. Xbox the spot will do so with the torrent. Jayo somehow still surviving. Eden wants to get the last hit onto him. Another Xbox the spot. The frostbite committed, and now finally the kill onto the enemy carry that they were looking for this whole time. Meanwhile, TMT sees Yaj and Jules both really low on health. Thinks, wait, maybe he can kill someone, but for now he decided to go for the golem. Seems like an easier target. Gives 100 gold. It's not a bad option. And for now, Happy Feet does not seem like they are doing so hot as they were in the early game. The Phantom Assassin has been quite swiftly denied in this game. Going for the Vlad because she felt quite confident. That extra armor has not helped her out at all because of the magical damage the enemy team is putting on. The Nyx Assassin is not having that much effect against the Tinker, mainly because Tinker is not the main point of the strategy. Right now, they're really utilizing well this Kunkka and the Crystal Maiden, mainly the two setup kills that they're allowing the Juggernaut to be effective, right, this game. In addition to that, you have the Earthshaker's been playing himself pretty well. Ponlo in the top lane even getting a kill onto Yaj alone. That is surprising. The laser's not going to hit Jules. Jules manages to TP away. What does Yaj have? He actually only has 2 levels of Spike Garpus for now, which is not good enough to stop the Tinker for a long enough time to actually stop him. So for now, Ponlo quite happy with that solo kill on the Tinker. I'm really curious as to what happened there. Tinker, sorry, against the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin himself is going to go for a Midas very soon. And yeah, for now, it just seems like a calm game that actually is going. And oh, for people asking the score, you can see the score up there. It's Nasty Potatoes winning by 1 game. And for now, it honestly is going much better for Nasty Potatoes now than it was before. But it's not a win game by any means by them. Happy Feet still have a really easy chance to not necessarily come back as not losing by that much, but definitely to get some farm onto Jayo back again. Shadowfeet doesn't have much impact these past few team fights, mainly because Nasty Potatoes again are abusing the fact that they have a lot more stuns in their lineup. I mean, the usage of this Earthshaker is fantastic for them. To some degree, also the Omnislash because it stops the wrecking of Souls, but that's beyond the point. The usage of the Earthshaker has been really good because they're utilizing all his stuns pretty well just to stun out the enemy team more of a utility Earthshaker than a damage Earthshaker, and that's working out for them. Now the Blink Dagger is going to be even easier. The Kunkka similarly has a lot of long range stuns to stop easy. It's easy to stop channeling with him, either with X marks the spot with Torrent because they're both really long range hits, and of course those ghost ships that have been hitting consistently with the Captain Coco's Realm, allowing you to have a bit more resistance to the team fights and allowing you to go a bit more haywire. So the Shadow Fiend can't get his Wrecking the Souls. He needs the Shadow Blade now going for Aegis, so we can at least do it this time. Did I just see a snowball? No, okay. I think he was just doing it for the creeps. And now he starts, of course, to clear the creeps. Let's see the Warlock. It seems like this is too easy to kill. Boom! The last hit from the Enchant Totem ensures that the Warlock, his blood and head and everything is just splattered all over the floor. They literally just hit him with a totem, like an actual totem to the face. That must hurt like a bitch. I mean, granted, the torrent seems like it hurts more because you are actually getting thrown up in the air by a geyser of water, or alternatively a laser. Seems like it would be a bit more hurting, or a rocket that actually explodes in your face, but whatever. We're not questioning the logic of totem. The Enchant Totem seems like a painful thing. Seems like a very painful thing, especially for a Warlock. Look at the small head the Warlock has. I mean, he's a really small head. It's just a... How you doing, tiny head? If anyone watches Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the Warlock is a really small head. The Enchant Totem obviously deals extra damage with a small head. There's more of a critical hit. It's like Mortal Kombat. Right. The Tinker's been able to take out the lanes up in the top lane, but of course, or the creep waves. Of course, they don't know the Jayo is around here. They actually just saw him at the end. I don't know if they want to go for a Bloodthorn on someone like a Tinker, for example, or maybe even a... Yeah, I mean, do you want to go on Bloodthorn on Tinker, maybe, just to stop the PA? Is this really your concern here? MKB does not seem like an item Juggernaut wants to go for, especially before. Oh, Eden uses the boat right just in time. He does go down, but the boat will kill off Yaj, and the Armor Slash already destroyed Jules. Now the extra to the Jesse Vash. He's starting to heal up the Blade Fury. He's not interested in him as they want to go for something more valuable, which is their own life. Because right now they need to escape. Ponlo has no mana, and he has to TP back, blink, and TP back. That's what Ponlo was looking for. And in the end, they get 2 kills on a support and an offlaner for 2 supports on your own team. Wasted Armor Slash though, so I don't know who benefits. Oh, actually. It doesn't let me see in the battle recap. Okay. For some reason, I don't know if it's just shown it and I missed it. It doesn't let me see in the battle recap. Point is, Oh, the Shadow Fiend's dead. The point is the Shadow Fiend is dead because Ponlo can blink to him. They have him stuck thanks to the fissure, and he's gonna lose his Aegis at the very least. TMT just continually hitting him with those crits, and now comes Crimson. He has the Frostbite, the Sigil just to hold him out. Great Ice Shards, by the way, but now they stop with the Frostbite. There's a Snowball. They want to counterattack. In comes the Echo Slam, destroys the Tusk, and now the next one will be the Shadow Fiend. The Blade Fury from TMT is already ready, and is gonna stop the Shadow Fiend right in his tracks with a threat of death. TMT with Captain Coco's Drum not needed because the boat wasn't even used there. They are able to take the kill on the Shadow Fiend regardless, even onto the Aegis, getting a slight advantage to the Nasty Potatoes. Quite a huge advantage actually, because the last time they lost to Roshan, it was for nothing. And now Yash might even die himself. He's been frostbitten. He uses the Spike Carpets to survive a bit longer. The Kunkka still wants to kill him. Has a torch in a couple more seconds. It's all they really need, and they're not even going to commit to it because the Earthshaker's damage is already enough. Meanwhile, the Juggernaut has a tower in his sights, and it's going to go down swiftly to his illusions. The Nyx Assassin has been completely nullified here with Nasty Potatoes. And it does seem like Nasty Potatoes will be taking a tier 2 as well. I mean, knowing they have no Shadow Fiend and knowing they have no Nyx Assassin, and there's no way you're going to waste a buyback right now on a tier 2. At least try to put a bit of damage onto it. And they do, but of course, there's a limited amount of damage. It's not like Habifeed are losing this game by any means. But you are quite happy the PA stopped farming as much. Her Desolator is going to come quite late. It's going to be a... by the time the Desolator comes, you already have a Medallion of Courage on the Kunkka because he's just grabbed it. And maybe even Solar Crest. If you can get Solar Crest by the time the Medallion or the Desolator comes, you are golden. So here, a kill, for example, would be super valuable. They check for the ward. There's no ward up there. And they go for the PA. There's the X marks the spot. The Torrent as well. The boat even committed to this. The Torrent's going to hit first. Now the boat. Jayo has no place to escape, but the Shadow Ward's keeping him up. But they only need one more hit. Jayo still hitting with the Stifling Daggers. They need enough damage. The Martial Machine's not going to find him. And instead, that Shadow Ward will ensure that he is kept alive. Despite the amount of stuns the enemy team have, they have no way of stopping Jayo because, of course, that Shadow Ward is way too annoying. I mean, stopping Jayo because I should have said stopping Jessie Bash. She's the real mastermind here. Plus 40 torrent damage. Okay. It's more than plus 30 damage on your Tidebringer, so it seems reasonable. You're gonna hit torrents more than you hit Tidebringers. Yeah, it's not really that big of a difference either way. 340 or 300 is pretty much the same thing, to be honest. See, the powerful part of the turret is that it's a stun and a slow with a huge ass range. Definitely. Okay, now try number 2. Okay, this is attempt number 2. Jayo, they have a Frostbite, but they do seem Crimson. I mean, they should have seen Crimson. Yeah, they just want to send him away. Oh, there's the boat. One already hits. The boat's gonna come to Jayo, and there's the Omni Slash, and Jayo will be brought down by TMT's damage. Super happy. He dances around, shows off his prowess. And in the middle lane, they're actually going to the Shadow Fiend. He seems to be a target. The Torrent's already in use. The Echo Slam as well. Everything's being committed to Ben-Hur, and it's gonna be worth it because they get the kill in the end. Nasty Potatoes get the 2 cores in a very little time. Now, Ponlo finds Jessie Bash. Where's the X marks the spot? Not available, so they can't stop his TP. He's gonna end up leaving in time. Alright, sorry, fixing some problems with the stream, making sure everything's going okay. Now that Nasty Potatoes will be happy to take a tier 2 in the mid lane, increasing therefore their net worth. That Frozen Sigil insanely annoying. They want to destroy it in time. The Crystal Nova, yeah, they can't even have vision of it. The Martial Machines though makes that PA has a hard time initiating, especially with a Phantom Strike. I mean, she can still Flame Dagger all she wants, but she is going to have a hard time initiating. Of course, what they want to do here is get a Roshan. Because the PA, the issue with her is that she is a glass cannon, but she is the definition of a glass cannon. I am surprised she doesn't blow herself up. And... yeah, the point is here, the... Nasty Potatoes here are able to really take this game along or take advantage of this game, mainly because of the fact that you have the Crystal Maiden, a Juggernaut, and the Kunkka that have been doing a really good job in these team fights. Oh, sorry. Actually, the Earthshaker as well. Tinker probably the guy has least impact because he's just playing traditional Tinker, but these guys have been getting some nasty fissures, some really good X marks spots torrent. They're utilizing the Kunkka very well, and they know how to play from behind with the Kunkka. They've actually practiced this a lot. And there's going to be a smoke gank, but just a quick aside after the smoke gang happens. Okay, Earthshaker, that's the blink dagger, right? Yeah, should be able to catch Ben-Hur. They know that he's there. Fissure already used. TNT has Omni Slash. Ben-Hur's not going to escape away from this. Omni Slash finishes off the Shadow Fiend. The bolt wasn't even needed for that. But hey, they committed anyway. It's a 60-second cooldown. Not a big deal. It's like Shakiro anyway. Right. Just a quick thing to the Spanish speaker in chat, Mr. Punisher. Mr. Punisher 782. Sí que son profesionales, juegan mucho mejor que otros equipos, no están haciendo ningún error muy grande para ellos, así que deja de insultar por favor a los equipos, es un torneo, ten respeto. Alright, I am a Spanish caster, so I can speak in Spanish sometimes. If you do insult the teams in Spanish, I feel like I don't mind if a lot of people are just chatting and it's just no big deal. There's just one comment in the chat, and that only comment is the one that every viewer is going to see, which is the fact that they're insulting the teams. I don't find that cool. Well, Nasty Potatoes and Happy Feet are putting their heart into this game. Just right now, Happy Feet, their strategy is not working. You want to know why? You want to actually know why instead of just insulting them? There's actually a very clear way as to why they're losing. The Juggernaut has a much better mid game than the PA because he does not rely on farming heroes. And with a Kunkka and with a Earthshaker, farming heroes is very hard. Not only are they both kind of hard heroes to kill because of their traditional. I mean, one of the supports is a pretty good armor and a Solar Crest, mind you, and also good amount of HP. The only hero that's actually an easy kill is Crystal Maiden, but she has no gold. So they're not really getting any gold on her. She's actually going for Midas just later on. But the Crystal Maiden's even hard to kill because, like I said, the Kunkka and the Earthshaker make this hard. Not only because, like I said, they're strong, but also because they have a lot of ways to stop your aggression. Both the Fissure and the X Marks the Spot are great ways to put you not only in a difficult position, but potentially in a lethal position. And with a Tinker around that can just TP around whenever he needs to and come join the fray whenever he needs to, that's so the PA can't really get solo kills herself. Thus delaying Desolator considerably and even forcing her to go for a Black King Bar, which she decided to go for after not being able to construct the Desolator. Because of course she needs it to be able to deal some damage. But by taking away Desolator from her, it makes the Nasty Potatoes have a much higher chance of winning because you are missing that damage. Similarly, Shadow Fiend forced to go for the Shadow Blade and Dragon Lance, or going for the Shadow Blade Dragon Lance early on. A lot of stats, a lot of solo ganking. Can't do that with this team because this team is staying as 5 and playing as 5 constantly. Even when they started knowing the Shadow Fiend went for Shadow Blade, the best way to counter this is just to play as 5 and just to know that if anyone got picked off is the Tinker. And even the Tinker's playing with them because he's afraid of the Nyx Assassin, and this threat of the Nyx Assassin is making it so the Tinker has to play in a team fight together with them. And he's going to get stunned by a Spike Carpus almost certainly. He can at least put a lot of defense regardless and stay so far back that he's never going to get killed regardless. Right. No, X marks the spot. I mean, they actually didn't see what used for. On the Earthshaker comes in with Echo Slam. Now the Omnisys as well. And the Blade Fury. Ben-Hur is trying to use his ultimate. Requiem of Souls does hit that Sama. Destroys on the boat. Doesn't actually stun anyone, though. It hits a lot of people. And the Captain Coco's Rum not going to help anyone here either. The Earthshaker actually died there. Good X marks the spot. Yaj is destroyed with 2 hits. Torrent will also stop the Tandem Assassin right in her tracks. But Ben-Hur gets a kill in the backline just against Crimson. Not a big deal, really, because it's just a Shadow Fiend that's he's about to die. And the TP comes in from the Tinker just to ensure the Shadow Fiend can't do anything else. Instead, he just comes into the mid lane, takes the Golem. It's a Nyx Assassin for 2 supports, but they defend the tower as a result. Like I said, it was a smoke gank even wasted or used up by Happy Feet. Not that big a deal. It really isn't that big a deal. Both Nasty Potatoes is pretty happy with losing. I mean, sorry, not 2 supports actually, it's an offlaner support, so it's a bit of an advantage here for Happy Feet. Never mind, Happy Feet actually take a bit of an advantage from it being an offlaner, but like I said, Earthshaker's more of a support. Nyx and Samurai more on the farm. But let's be honest, neither Nyx nor Earthshaker actually matter right now. It's really the 2 cores. The 2 cores, the PA and the Shadow Fiend, are the ones that really deal the damage here. And they don't have it. They really don't. They're relying entirely on this PA and Shadow Fiend to deal damage. Otherwise, their initiation is poor. And you also have a Tusk, something I didn't mention earlier, but a Tusk for Happy Feet. That does not work anymore. That Tusk is just not good at 29 minutes in the game. His abilities is basically to a Frozen Sigil and occasionally a Snowball to save your team. But the Snowball is not that useful when you're fighting against a team like a Tinker, for example. One of the best counters of the Tusk in general. You can prevent some of the marks of the machine, but he's just going to continue piling them on. And if you prevent the heat-seeking missiles, he's going to use another round. It doesn't really matter to him. So that's not a big deal. Now, for the guys at Nasty Potatoes, they also have a Kunkka. You can evade some of his spells, like a Ghost Ship, for example, or a Torrent with that, that Snowball. But he's usually going to use them with an X mark the spot. And if you can prevent that X mark the spot with a Snowball, it better be on a very powerful carry. And they can even jump at you and just use the Omni Slash. They have a lot of good initiation techniques. And the Juggernaut actually decided to go for a Blink Dagger and then Butterfly straight up rather than go for the Diffusal Blade. Now, a bit complicated, because is this a better build or is not? I mean, the Diffusal Blade is an interesting build, because it's not as powerful against someone like Shadow Fiend. It does have damage to you against someone like Shadow Fiend or PA, but of course, if they're gonna blur it, for example, the damage to the Diffusal Blade doesn't really add much. You'd rather have an MKB straight up. And getting a Butterfly gives you a bit more survivability and much more pushing power. Diffusal Blade would? Yeah, considerable more amount of pushing power. More importantly, if this does go late, which I can only presume the Nasty Potatoes wants it to go late, you're much better off with a Butterfly in the late game than building a Butterfly early, then going for MKB, and then decide if you really want Diffusal Blade, then actually getting to the late game and realizing all your items are made for the mid game. Like, again, a Diffusal Blade. Good farming torrent. And there's the... I mean, the Solar Curse is ready for the Kunkka. As for the PA, her BKB has not had much effectivity. We saw in that team fight. It was better than nothing, because you, of course, can do much more with it, the BKB. And I'm pretty sure that's what saved her from the damage of the Earthshaker and actually made her survive. They have to use the Enchant Totem and more. In fact, it's kind of surprising they didn't max Enchant Totem on Death Sama. It's a bit of an issue in my opinion. It's a very good spell against the PA, but they're not maxing it or giving him any damage. I still think the 4-step, of course, is good, and the Ghost Scepter is a good idea on the Earthshaker. And you still want to go for Blink Dagger first. But go for the plus 50 damage. You already went for the plus 10 strength because you have the mana boost anyway. Plus 10 strength, plus 50 damage. That adds a total of, at level 4, mind you, 240 extra damage to the Enchant Totem. 240 against a Phantom Assassin every 5 seconds. That's pretty useful. That is pretty useful. Getting that extra damage, if, for example, in that team fight, would have saved him and would have been able to get that kill. Apollo with his axe is quite content. He's just not going to go for the second vice to do a double PA. That's a really good idea. There's no other way of stopping that BKB, of course, from coming up. And also the BKB for the Shadow Fiend. Both BKBs have been used just once this game, and again, the effectivity has been limited because they still had a lot of damage for them. Oh, Earthshaker being stopped with the Impale. They start to heal him up with a Healing Ward, and there's the Ghost Scepter. Now the Omni Slash comes out. Nyx Assassin has to disconnect from the match. Doesn't seem like he missed anything there, though. Really doesn't. Maybe the Spike Carpus. He's dead anyway. Maybe he could have used a Spike Carpus there. But anyway. Go. The Shadow Fiend himself is also stunned out. He's been hit by the spot. There's the boat. They finish off the next assassin first, but in comes Jayo. Wants to kill off Eden a bit hard with the Captain Coco's Rum and also the Solar Crest. Crystal Maiden advancing a bit too far. Why is she doing this? Just wants to get a Frostbite onto Ben-Hur, but of course this skill's going to be a bit harder. TMT joins in onto the PA. Where's the Warlock Golem? Not used yet. Finally committed, but here the Snowball saves Jayo for one more second. The Echo Slam to finish him off. They cancel the Tusk and the PA completely, and now Ben-Hur is forced to use his BKB just to evade the X marks the spot. That's not what they were looking for. In fact, Death Sama is committed to the skill. Ben-Hur lost his BKB just now, but Death Sama is not going to use his Fissure in time. Instead, they're going to go for a Roshan. Seems like a much better kill. They lose 3 for the price of 1. Definitely worth it. Sure, the Crystal Maiden seemed like a suicidal move, and it was a suicidal move. You can tell the second she went out there. But that Frostbite ensured the kill on the PA, because it made Happy Feet question if they should fight or not. And the PA had to commit to this, because they had to kill the Crystal Maiden. They had to kill the Crystal Maiden. Otherwise, the constant Frostbites would have made it so that leaving would have been impossible unless you used the BKBs defensively. The Shadow Fiend did anyway. But the PA already used the BKB, so she didn't have that option. So she had to kill the Crystal Maiden, try to prevent of course, the Shadow Fiend from dying. And then instead she died herself because the Tinker deals way too much damage. We saw there the Snowball effect I was talking about. It's effective, but not against skills like the Tinkers, for example, or even the Earthshakers, because the Echo Slam just waits for you to get out of the Snowball and then actually punishes you for getting into the Snowball. It's great. Oh, you had 5 people. That's more damage for you, but it's also more damage for me. Wait, what? That's how my skill works? Really? Oh, shit. Echo Slam. Echo Slam. Easy kill. Oh, they actually get a kill on the bottom lane. Yeah, I think just do Spike Carpus. Yeah, Spike Carpus will Blink Dagger. Like I said, Tinker really can't leave this 5-man formation that Happy Feet have designed. And that's a really important kill. I actually completely missed that just because I wasn't expecting the Tinker to do this. But that was a huge mistake. Happy Feet getting a great kill there. Taking advantage of it. Good Blink Dagger. And of course, Spike Carpus to finish him off. Easy Nyx. Easy Nyx. Good. Alright. Jules does not have vision up to the high ground. And looks up there. Sees only his death. Has to walk up there anyway. No, I'm kidding. I have no vision, so I have no clue about this. They're thinking that they probably have some sort of ward around this area, but they don't know it yet. And Death Sama does see the enemy ward. But he has a gem. De-ward it, motherfucker. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't de-ward this. There it is. They're just waiting for Juggernaut to kill. Oh, almost out of Jesse Bash. Wow. Well, there's no rug for the next team fight, but of course they didn't have it anyway, so that's not a big deal. Yash from the trees, Impale, and TMT finds Jayo alone. He has his butterfly though, so he goes really fast. Blink Dagger sees Banner. Can he stop him? No diffusal blade to stop him, but he has the extra flutter. The fissure actually misses. Eden still gonna blink in. No, does not have the Blink Dagger and does not have the X mark the spot to stop the Shadow Fiend. With this, it seems like Nasty Potatoes will finally try to take this tier 2 in the bottom lane. After a while of trying to push this out, I think it's their moment. It's Vodafone, it's the moment. They can't take Shrines yet because no tier 3 has gone down, and they would love to because their Shrine is a very annoying position and good defensive Shrine here. So is this one thing taking the Roshan. I mean, the TPing position for the Shrines is so valuable. I guess the gold inside them is also pretty good, but it's mainly the TPing position. Here, the goal, though, is to push this bottom tier 2 down. That way they can push tier 3s easily without much concern for their own safety, because they can go from mid creeps, they can just keep pushing as they want. And, of course, TMT is going to join in at the end, take the 4 or 5 hits they needed to finish off that tower, get a bit of extra gold, and be happy. Shadow Fiend is still the most farmed hero in this game, which is surprising. Oh, that's Jay. Sorry, wrong here. Shadow Fiend is still the most farmed hero in this game, which is surprising, but he only went for Silver Edge and a Dragonlance BKB. More defensive than offensive build. Of course, you can stop the crit from the Juggernaut by just stopping it with Silver Edge, and you still have the help from, of course, that Silver Edge to stop the burst damage Juggernaut can deal with an Omni Slash, for example. That's really powerful, but I don't see that Silver Edge is that great, especially against what Nasty Potatoes have. I don't think it's going to be the turnaround be-all end-all. Maybe a Scotty would be a better be-all end-all than a Silver Edge. At this point, you're both going for the late game. The PA has been kind of left behind in the mud considerably. She's trying to get a Desolator still. Maybe that Desolators would help her become relevant again, but it doesn't seem like that would be the case. Her level is also far behind, meaning she only has 2 levels in Coup de Grace. Hope the Grace, Coup de Grace. And of course, you also, in terms of the hero levels, your Juggernaut is 3 levels above you, which is a considerable difference. Oh, wow. When it comes to stats. Now, Tusk has been stunned out. He has no TP. There's no way you can leave this, honestly. It's just not a question. But it's a good time waster here. Using the snowball as much as you can, trying to get as much damage out as you can, because why not? Let's force the enemy team to not just get a kill for free. But of course, they did just get a kill for free, and they stopped your TP, which is another important thing to mention, you see. And with that, they increased their net worth to 7,000. Again, not a big difference, coming in at 36, but it does seem like the lineup for Nasty Potatoes is working better. The draft seems much more superior, mainly because of the fact that they have an Earthshaker as opposed to an Nyx Assassin. His stun is much more reliable, and they're starting to really prefer those kind of reliable stuns. Similarly, the Kunkka has been utilized great, but it's also the fact that the Kunkka is so good against the Shadow Fiend that PA presents. 2 heroes that depend a bit on putting themselves in difficult positions, because Phantom Strike or Shadow Fiend's just natural walking with Silver Edge. And they're escaping from it, either because they're naturally tanky, like Shadow Fiend or the Plur and the PA, or because they have some sort of escape ability. The Hurricane like Silver Edge on Shadow Fiend, and of course, that Phantom Strike on PA. Oh no, can they kill her in time, really? Omniscience already came out, and there's nothing the PA could do to stop that. That's a dead PA for 62 seconds. That is a carry gaunt, which doesn't really deal the main amount of damage. It's actually the Shadow Fiend, who just destroyed the Juggernaut. Asia is about to expire in 20 seconds, so no big deal there. Fissure to stop him. TMT, they'll be stopped by the Ice Shards. Where's the Rock? Jesse Dash doesn't want to put him in a difficult position because there was no second Ice Shards ready. Now they've been used. It's not a cheese though. TMT can now use the export spot combo. And this is the best part about when it's an equal game. That's why TMT went to the butterfly. We'll talk about it in a second. When it's a very equal... Oh, wait, Ben-Hur does one initiate. He already wasted his BKB. That's a huge commitment there. That's a huge commitment of a BKB, I just realized. Alright, this is why I went for butterfly, because he actually has a lot of... If the game is really equal, if you just do this, and there's no way you can die. Thanks to the healing ward, especially, to keep him back up, and Eden, of course, with the X mark the spot, makes it really difficult. Oh, he goes to Eden, Echo Slap, catches the Shadow Fiend! The Tinker's also there, and the Ghost Ship will finish off the Shadow Fiend in time. Jules can't run away from the March of the Machines, or the Freezing Field. What is Yash doing? Goes in, is able to stun the Crystal Maiden, but as a result, might die himself. He's been deaded up, and it's gonna go down as a corpse. That Torrent too strong, and with this, the barracks are certainly gonna fall. TMT able to take the first melee racks, now going for the range ones, possibly going to the mid lane. Should be an easy kill. Death Sama. It's helped by... Wait, oh sorry. I don't know why Death Sama was on the butterfly. What the fuck? Okay, I'm kicking on the wrong guy. TMT is able to take this mid tower as well and help him with the enchant totem. God damn it, there it is. There it is. Death Sama doesn't want to waste much farm or mana, sorry, but he saw the cheese. Oh, Phantom Assassin, no. Turned into a pig. Where's the second pig? No need for it. Actually, the damage from TMT and Death Slam is enough. They actually used the Blade Fury to finish off a PA in the late game. That is insane. The PA should have more HP than that, but the Blade Fury still deals a ridiculous amount of damage apparently for TMT. And now Jayo looking for TMT kill perhaps, but TMT is just too bent on destruction of the enemy racks. With this, Jules might still go in with a snowball perhaps. The Ice Charge closing off the Crystal Mania. It's a fight against Ice. Yaj actually does use the Impale, but it's not going to stop TMT. Another Fissure, and the Torrent will also hit. TMT will blink to them. The Ghost Ship will actually miss everyone, but does give Captain Coco's arm to a couple people. Jayo is forced to use his BKB to prevent some of the damage, and also that Scythe of Ice, and now they capture the Tusk instead. The Scythe of Ice will finish him off, and the PA survives, but just barely against the damage that Nasty Potatoes is putting out. This Tinker is way too strong, and in comes the Shadow Fiend. He has a Silver Edge. He's ready to attack, but they have a gem, so he actually can't initiate this way. Death Slammer stops him right in his tracks. There's the Fissure, now a Torrent. Death Slammer not just dead yet. The Upheaval can't stop him in time, but he does lose the gem right outside the enemy's base. In goes the Blink Dagger. TMT ready to go get Ben-Hur, and the GG will come out from Happy Feet as TMT fights this last fight against Ben-Hur. They do lose the gem and the Earthshaker, but in exchange, they win the match, and as a result, the best of 3. The best of 3 thus goes to Nasty Potatoes, winning 2-0 against the guys at Happy Feet. They managed to qualify for the losers brackets finals, where they will be facing off against GeekFam in a duel to the death in a best of 3 to decide who can win and get to the grand finals of this tournament against MVP Revolution. So who will win tomorrow? Stay tuned. 20 SG or 8 SGT, 8 PM SGT. We come back with a game between Nasty Potatoes and GeekFam, so stay tuned tomorrow for that. If you can't watch it, feel free to go to my YouTube channel. It's there in my Twitter description, and watch the replay. That way you can see what happened up until this moment if you did enjoy these games. That said, guys, my name is DSwordfish. I have been your caster for today. Hope you enjoyed the cast. If you did, feel free to follow me on Twitter at DSwordfish. I'll also put the link in the chat. Otherwise, flame me in the chat. Please don't flame the teams. As I said before, no 3-2. Nothing really happened. It's just that Nasty Potatoes played well. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 1 CE or 2 CEST. 1 if you live in the UK. 3 if you live in Russia. 8 PM if you live in Singapore, with next game for this tournament, which is going to be between Nasty Potatoes and the guys at GeekFam to decide who gets into the grand finals, guys. That's been me for today. Hope you enjoyed the cast, and I will see you guys next time with some more Dota 2.
Privately owned pools in Los Angeles. George Clooney has one, but his is slightly bigger, but mine is deeper, so fuck you, George. And this actually, oh fuck, look at this place. This is the Tiki Lounge. I mean, look, it's got everything.
Way. Was what the Happy Feet.